Welcome back to an episode. We are again in the big city of Baldur's Gate. And we have a few wizards, magical users in front of us, but they don't matter. What matters is, well, for now at least, Gale and the this thing here. We're going to talk to some booksellers, and this might be where Gale actually becomes most helpful. Because this is like his little side quests, and that's the reason why he's in the team. And also we did a little bit of equipment stuff in the previous episode, just to give him like the ice, lightning-ish kind of wizardy type. Okay, so what about this fellow?
Let me back in. I'll bring Lorroakan out here, you tin tube. You tell Lorroakan I went for his goddamn night song, and now he has to pay up. What are you looking at? Shit, it's you. You went looking for the night song after me. Please tell me you found it.
Yeah, sorry I didn't find it. Actually, we did find it. No items there. Who are you trying to get in? Who are you trying to get inside? I found the night song. Turns out it wasn't a relic, but an Azima. Yes. The idea, again, is to be as, like, obviously honest as possible. For as long as possible. So, yes.
An Azima? Hells. If I'd known, I'd have asked for more gold. Kidnapping costs more than theft. Don't forget, I'm the one who gave you that contract. I want my cut.
Well, she said, I can't be. If you want to turn her in, you're going to have to take her down yourself. Yeah, haven't been paid yet. Yes, she's immortal and tough. You can forget about turning her in for a reward. Yeah, we could also just do the whole piss off kind of thing. She's gone. I'm not sure where to. Well, I haven't been paid yet, yes.
Good luck getting a blue copper out of Lorroakan. Guy's tighter than a black-nosed sheep. You get that money, you come find me. Or I'll come looking for you.
Oh boy. Is that a threat? So... now we know that the Azima is... Oh, Roland! Yeah, look at that. Is he a shopkeeper now? For the stout and sturdy. Overlord. Wait, for the stout and sturdy, isn't this the whole bring me the...
Indulge your curiosity. Sorcerers Sundries is the finest purveyor of magical miscellany for miles around.
Where's the axes?
What they sell is far more precious than mere sword or shield. They sell knowledge. Ingenuity, the wisdom of mages past.
Sounds like more your thing than mine.
Sweet. You got an awful lot of illusions, some scroll thingies and whatnot. We got Hector and other fellows. So looks like Karlak is going to find her magical interest in here. So let's get this thing. Oh, look at this. 2 more books that I haven't read yet. Oh, and a potion of invisibility. Nice. Maybe you need that in here. Condenser.
Tell me, Lae'zel, what is it like on the Ash? Look, a bookseller. She can point us to the tome I need.
Really? I just wanted to know what he's going to... Okay, tell me, Lisa, what is it like on the astral plane? Your home realm intrigues me. Yeah, no answer. This is really annoying. Like, you have some dialogue, you are moving around. Okay, how do you make it so that the dialogue does not just cut halfway and... yeah, you're basically missing out on some nice backstories and so on. Because this is the thing that I kind of like the most about it, the whole banter, backstory, whatever. All of this is just really neat. Weird. The whole taking items, actually. I think every time I do this, I go to places, then I loot everything that I can, and then I talk to characters. But the problem is I have to do this in reverse order. But then again, I could miss out on items that could be somewhat valuable in conversations that are coming up. Or like I'm gonna get kicked out of the place and never have access again, and then I'm gonna miss it out, whatever. So this is just really weird. Anyway, we're just going to loot the whole process for everyone else who does not like the whole looting stuff. Timestamps are in the description, so that's a nice bit about it. Right, so let's see. Loot more Tolna, the tomb monger. Ah, okay, so she's the one with the books. Oh boy, I have so much to read right now. And everybody's... Okay, necromancers, very interesting. There are actual necromancers around here, and I thought the whole idea of necromancy is like... frowned upon. Looks like wizards don't care. And necromancers even less. So, do I have all animated armor? No. The armor itself may just be there for security reason. If you try to do some shit. Oh. The gold Wyrmling stuff. What does it do? Fire damage? Sure. Bludgeoning, and a little firebolt. Nice, but if you are a wizard, you're relying on your spells.
Tell me again, what is your interest in the astral plane?
Oh.
Time. Or rather, the absence of it. In the astral plane, everything is eternal.
It will be my home soon enough, should Vlaakith will it.
What Vlaakith is willing or not should not be her concern at all, because we are going to oppose her. So her will does not matter in the long run. Or the short run. Or any run for that. Good. Let's see. But at least the conversation is just put on a hold for a little moment. It's actually quite nice. Felagir's fireworks seller stuff. This actually is some of my keys for the start of. Yeah, so many new books. You gotta be kidding me. And I thought, oh, it's about the schools of magic and what they're gonna do. School of Magic Conjuration. The Eternal Invitation. The yes to abjurations. No. The School of Conjuration is the mage's mighty beckoning to the wonders our world has to offer. Key terms: create, summon, invite, and teleport. Key concepts: transportation, summoning, producing, and finding. Finding is actually very nice. Where are my keys? Where are my keys at? And then you just whoop, and you got your keys. But yeah, think about it. Every time you search for something, you just summon it up the moment you need it, and you can just drop it the moment you don't, and then just disappears into like nothingness, or it just lands on the floor. So summoners are the most lazy, like maybe some, you could think of this as maybe some chaotic kind of magic, because you take everything the moment you need it, kind of like warlocks or whatever. But then you just drop it. But if you need it again, you can just summon it up. So you don't need to order things. Anyway, so Conjuration and Abjuration are somewhat working against each other, which is very interesting. School of Magic Evocation. Right, that's that. I wanted to read the School of Magic Enchantment. Very interesting. Where is the Transmutation? Illusion, okay. And where is the... There may actually be a few more of those books around with the School of Magic Evocation and whatnot. Or maybe there are some books lying out about in the open. Or maybe... Maybe... Okay, this is a metal door. We can't go there. But maybe we can get some books out of this bookshelf.
Welcome, dear patron, to the floor at the top of the stairs. If you have information about the Night Song, great riches await. If you are here to waste the great wizard Lorroakan's time, reconsider.
You
Okay.
recognize this image projection spell from your studies, though you'd expect a great wizard to execute it less shoddily.
Let your knowledge determine your path forward.
Right. Hoi! Portal. Find it. So there are two plagues, and why are both of them red? That's the thing that I don't quite get. I just hope I don't accidentally interact with them if I try to pass through them, because that would be a bit iffy. And of course oh, you gotta be kidding me. Really now? Okay. The row of books is now red. Thank you.
Time for a soft touch.
Oh, we can actually... Ooh, nice. Maybe I can jump across it. Yeah, that works, of course. So we have multiple portals that weren't here before. And both of those rows of books are blocked now for some reason. Or maybe you were never able to actually get this stuff. Why does this row of books not say it's empty? That's kind of weird. Or maybe it is empty. It just does not display it on the hover text. Maybe it's just like that. Okay. So
Let's get going.
what's so special about that one?
The Night Song is an immortal being, the child of a deity. The Night Song is a priceless ruby from a realm beyond our own. The Night Song is an immortal being, the child of a deity.
Can't slow down.
The Night Song is an ancient potion that allows its drinker to become irresistibly attractive to man and god alike. The Night Song is a druidic staff that allows its bearer command over an army of ancient beasts.
Interesting. So this could be a test of knowledge, and we're supposed to just tell the truth. If they are actually in need of the Night Song, then my guess is that they know exactly what the Night Song is. And if we have found it, we're just going to select the right portal, and they know that we found it. Maybe this is just it. Yeah. So that others that are just going to think it's an item. I actually thought it was an item too at the beginning. People that just pretend to have found the item are just gonna get selected out and kicked out of the whole Sorcerous Sundries thing. So we're just, again, trying to be as honest as possible. But first, I'm gonna put this key on the keychain, and also Mindflayer Specimen. Wait a minute. This one has to be placed in here again somewhere. Fluidic shard goes over there. Alright, and that one goes over here, and everybody's good. Torch of Revocation. It's nice that I have it. I just have no use for it. The cool thing is it's legendary. Or like, unique. Very rare. No, legendary is orange. Like, yellow-ish. The step of any word. Need banishment. Maybe we can use it for some purposes later, but right now I don't seem to have found the right purpose yet. So,
Love to, thanks.
back to Karnak and her little inventory stuff. The thing is, I wanted to read more on the whole schools of magic, and there's definitely more than just those. Weirdly enough, I haven't found all of those books. Anyhow, Evocation, let's just continue. This world of ours is rife with incredible power. The boom clap of lightning and thunder, the cycle of life and death inherent to flame, the flash of illumination in a ray of light. The devotee to the school of evocation dances among this power, guiding it with their own will. Key terms: elements, empowerment, creation, and effects. Key concepts: fire, frost, thunder, light, and earth. School of Magic, Enchantment. I don't know if I've ever used that stuff before. Transmutation is an interesting one, but Evocation, Enchantment. This is Conjuration? Why do we have enchantment spells? Maybe Longstrider could be something like that. Whatever. Enchantment. What is the world but a certain framed show of villains, heroes, steeds, and royals? And who directs them? Where to gamble, when to pounce. The School of Enchantment offers its services as director of the cosmic farce. Key terms: enticement, beguilement, manipulation. The concepts are encode, compel, incite, and enthrall. So this is the whole charming stuff. Manipulation of creatures and minds. Very interesting. Transmutation. Mutability is the essence of life itself. All is ever-changing, growing and shrinking, building and breaking down. The devotee to the School of Transmutation learns to wield the raw material of life into desired form. The terms is change, exchange, and alchemy. The concepts are altering, prestidigitation, purification, and mending. Again, prestidigitation. Whatever prestidigitation is, but now we know a new word. Prestidigitation. Something with hands or fingers, maybe. Who knows? Illusion. My favorite kind of magic. All is what it seems, or is it? The School of Illusion posits that reality can be recreated and remade according to the whims of the practitioner, bringing intention and will to our chaotic world. The terms are deceive, convince, pretend, and believe. Key concepts are invisibility, shadows, illusion, hallucination, and misleading. Huh. Seems very negative in a way, right? The interesting thing is, like, illusion and shadows are working together there. Invisibility, so the stuff that you don't see. Illusion, meaning to illuminate things or making things, well, be lit by something. And shadows, which are the unlit parts of it. So in this case, you're turning the world upside down and you're just showing the things that you want them to say. Really interesting. And yeah, same things like hallucination or whatnot. But illusion is a funny little thing. So, myth, Drannan the Amphigory. Here is a copy of Elminster's myth, Drannan Amphigory. It's a great edition, well kept and stiff-spined. Reading an excerpt, you can see Elminster's style coming through the heavy notation scholars have added after the fact. I attended a lecture yesterday by an elven sage about the eclipse logic theory of magic. Sweat bedded her brow. I got the impression she was now the pulpit and the greedy eyes of ambitious students. The eclipse logic theory as framed by her gives the impression that a big enough personality is imbued with a kind of unique magic. Think of an eclipse with one astral phenomenon obstructing the other, and with variant states of eclipse resulting in the abatement of light and the creation of new and interesting shadows. Transformation by encounter. Personality, this elven sage posited, is like that. On one hand, she is demonstrably right, but while identifying stars, she's missed the shape of the galaxy. Stepping back a moment, we see that while certain iconic people have achieved great things by magical means, the qualities we would ascribe as their personalities are not fixed, though the extent of their prowess is, if not aligned, then comparable. So, while emotion holds power and significance, the scope and weight of taxonomic signifiers of that power eludes us like the dark side of the sun darkening the moon. Wow. And the Apprentice's Companion, Book of the Fifth. The particulars of a single entity plane. This type of alternate plane can easily be used as a trap. Think of, for example, the infamous Ginny's Lamp or Magira's chest trick. In this type of plane, only a single entity may exist at once. If a new entity enters, the old one is quickly and forcibly removed. If no entities are inside, the plane then collapses immediately. Interesting. You can think of this as like a pocket dimension or pocket prison or whatever. Or like a personal little dimension. Very, 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 very interesting. So, in this case, the thing that exists holds its own space. Which is actually a very interesting concept, and the truest that exists for now. So, Magical Histories, Volume 3, the second Sundering. In the years following Mystra's assassination, the planes of existence were in upheaval. Lord Ao, the Hidden One, overgod of all deities and mortals, sought to rebalance what had been thrown into disarray by renewing the Tablets of Fate, those most sacred of artifacts that kept whole worlds in check and found balance between order and chaos. The very portfolios of the gods were rewritten, and several who were thought lost found themselves returned to life and power. Heralded by the wizard Elminster Omar, Mystra found her magic restored and portfolio returned to her. Once again, the rightful goddess of magic found herself to be the custodian of the weave. So, upheaval and things just change for the better. Magic of the Weave, an introduction. Interestingly enough, there's more about the Weave. I've read this one before, but let's just read this again for completion's sake. Few try to understand the Weave, a true pity, for only they who are truly attuned to the Weave can rightly call themselves spellcasters. Thus comes the question, what is the Weave? It is an essential element of the universe. It runs through everything in unseen threads. It is what makes magic possible. It is also, though I will not go into further detail here, the goddess Mystra herself, the magic of the Weave, Mystra, and the Spellplague. The Weave isn't magic precisely, rather it is the raw material from which magic is woven, not entirely unlike how a collection of threads is shaped and formed into a garment. Those with the necessary talent and skill can manipulate the Weave and perform magic by casting spells. Developing the skill takes years of learning and constant practice. You might have heard of those who can cast spells because they are born with an innate connection to the Weave, commonly called sorcerers, or worse, because they struck a bargain with an otherworldly creature, also known as warlocks. Do not be deceived. Their magic is unpredictable, uncontrolled, and in some cases, not even rightfully theirs. No, to truly know and manipulate the Weave is an art. But those wizards who master it will know the limitless power and beauty the Weave provides. Enchantment Me. This book describes an elderly spellcaster's years learning the art of enchantment. Cold and frigid was the day I learned that to fail in charming a better wizard was the most dangerous game of all. I first met Cavalirin Draithwaite at the Kalashide Baru. Come on. The game was a complicated play of cards I hadn't mastered, but being young, foolhardy, and overconfident in my abilities as a student wizard, I thought I'd use my minimal talent with enchantment to gain the upper hand. Quietly did I seek to charm the feeble old woman to my left. She appeared to me a parochial sword and unlikely to put up much resistance to my trick. I'd been blown against the Baroom's back wall, then up to the ceiling and back down again before I realized this feeble woman was none other than the Cavalierian Dreyfway, Master of Charms, author of the very textbook from which I learned the enchantment I attempted to use against her. After she gave me a good thrashing for my audacity, we became lifelong friends. Oh, how nice is that? Magical Histories Volume 2, Volume 4, Second Wind, Magical History, okay. So, the Apprentice Companion, Book of the Fourth, wait. Haven't I read the Book of the Fourth somewhere? Book of Fifth? So this is Apprentice Companion, that's a special thing. Book Third. Fourth, that was Fifth. An Approach to Life, the Weave again, and... Interesting. Interesting. So there are maybe a few more of those books around. Let's see. The Apprentice's Companion, Book of the Third. With regard to items, these are often overlooked as a source of substantial power and importance in the progression of one's skills. Rings, amulets, and even pieces of appropriate armor can provide the needed boons to alleviate one's practice beyond the standard. Oftentimes is a single item the difference between ignoble defeat and magical victory. That's why it takes so long to find the right stuff. And the fourth one, uses of magic for particular quandaries. To reveal invisible traps, use Fairy Fire or See Invisible. To bypass glyphs, use Fly or Gaseous Form. To block harmful spells that traps may trigger, use Counterspell. Counterspell? Yeah, wait a minute. Does Gale know? I think he knows Counterspell. I think I gave him Counterspell. Does he? I thought he does know Counterspell. Huh. Or maybe it was someone else that is able to use Counterspell. That's weird. Wait a minute. Counterspell. There you go. Counterspell. Number 3, actually. So, big question. Which of those spells am I going to kick out? Because Counterspell is cool. Try to stop a spell being cast. You just say, poof, and it disappears. Pretty cool. The thing is, when do you actually trigger Counterspell? This is a reaction. Reactions can only be used in response to a specific event. Yes. But does this event have to hit you or not? If it is higher level than the spell slot you use to Counterspell, you must make a check using your spellcasting ability to prevent it. The check's difficulty is equal to 10 plus the level of the spell you are trying to counter. Let's just hope I have like good spell slot checks for this. You must make a check using your spellcasting ability, which is intellect. By the way, how much intellect does he have? Yeah, enough, I hope, but actually it's not very high. So, let's see. Counterspell. Which of those other spells could I get rid of? Damage is only by creatures and objects, raids, inorganic material. This is very good against the Cloud of Daggers, yada. This is cool and all, but I can just kick it out and get Counterspell. That might be a good one. So, where's the Counterspell when you need it? I don't see the Counterspell. It just disappeared. The Cloud of Daggers was somewhere over here. Not there anymore. Weird. So you can just click on that in order to activate it or not? There. Oh, because it's a reaction. Makes sense. Oh, by the way, reactions. We actually have to ask. That's perfect. Good. Very, 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 very nice. Opportunity attack is also something like that, but he's not going to use opportunity attacks. He's more like using wizardry things. So, back to the whole reading stuff.
Making me sweat.
Book the 5th in terms of plane, only single entity. Yeah, that was that. So, Magical Histories Volume 2, the Spellplague. In the infamous calamitous year of 1383 DR, a conspiracy between the goddess of darkness, Shah, and the god of trickery, Sirik, sought to end Mystra's control over the weave and influence over the realms by cravenly assassinating her. But instead of merely breaking the goddess of magic's dominance, her death threw the weave into utter chaos and collapse. Magic spells faltered or failed entirely. Countless spellcasters were killed or driven insane. A vast storm of blue flame arose from the Mia jungles and swept the continent, churning and reshaping the land, and leaving whole regions devastated. For the murder of Mystra, Sirik was sentenced by a conclave of gods to 1,000 years imprisonment, which for a god may not be that long. Toril would face nearly 100 years of upheaval before Mystra could return once again, reinstated as goddess of magic in 1480 DR, thanks to the efforts of the legendary wizard Elminster, Umar, and the events of the Second Sundering to be fully explored in the next volume. The Chosen of Mystra. To be the chosen of a god is to be empowered with their very essence, and to be the chosen of the goddess of magic herself is to possess unparalleled mastery amongst mortals in manipulating the weave. Some would consider such beings to be demigods, while others would see them as servants, powerful and rare ones for sure, but servants nonetheless. In the current age, Elminster Omar is known to be a chosen of Mystra, or Gale, the Wizard of Waterdeep. It is fitting, of course, that the finest wizard known to most would claim such a title, but was he chosen for his magical prowess, or is that prowess derived from his chosen status? Some embittered scholars claim Elminster's favor is rooted in an amorous past with Mystra herself, but this author finds such a feat to be no source of shame. If true, for a lowly mortal to seduce a goddess, bravo sir. One can only suppose that the bunk beds of Candlekeep twitch with dreams of repeating the act. Harping by Moonlight, an approach to life. Harping by Moonlight, an approach to life by Elminster Omar. He has written an awful lot of books. The Sage of Shadowdale. The text is rife with observations and personal introspection, such as this. I've never understood why people talk about evil as if it's a point of view. I find that tawdry and stupid. Evil and good are as present in our world as gravity, and though their interpretation is displaced across the garbled noise of culture, they actually remain reasonably constant. Just because you've cast fly doesn't mean you've broken gravity. Even the god who gives a cleric her power is just a flue down which the smoke of good flows. Sometimes I wish we lived somewhere in which these things weren't as omnipotent as they are. No matter how long you study, you can't grapple smoke. I've tried to understand good, to realize it in our world more and more often as I get older. I just feel it flowing through my fingers. Which isn't to say the things we do are meaningless. We may be puppet toked and disturbed around by good and evil, but we can jerk on the strings a little. The alternative perspective, the weave. According to standard wisdom, the weave is comprised of the body of Mystra, or the domain of Mistral, the threads connecting all the creatures to the source of magic itself. I posit to the intrepid reader that the truth is far more fascinating. The weave, as we know it, is not invisible at all. No, certain among us whom I call seers can sense the true nature of the weave as an incredibly fine but highly physical and edible substance left in our realm by spacefaring giants called Immortums several aeons ago. Each time we wield this power, creatures called weave devils consume these strands of weave, and their excrement is a powerful force we call magic. I know this will shock many readers, but I only deliver the facts as I know them, and as the esteemed wizarding community wants to keep from you. Yes. Okay, think about... Okay, wait a minute. Let's just play along. So, the weave itself, like if the weave is a string, right? It could be like some silly string or like some edible stuff, whatever. And some other creature just comes along and gobbles it up, right? Like a worm or an ant or whatever, anything. And then it just shits, and whatever the worm actually spits out, or not spit out, but shit out from the back, is what this magic actually changes shape into, or whatever changes the world again. So in this case, what it means is that the world itself is magical, and there are some effects that happen if these worms are then changing the world and then shitting that out. So this, in a way, it is somewhat the wording itself may not be the right one, or maybe not the most fitting one, but the thing that is happening may actually be a resemblance of particle physics, if you think about it. It's very weird, but it somewhat makes sense. Or in the way light works with particles. Because like light also goes in a line-ish, right? It can bend or whatever, but only in response to other forces. So in this case, light is mostly straight, like a string, right? And then the particle just goes straight forward. You can think of this as like a maybe this like magic devil or whatever that's like eating it up, or you could think of this as some other particle that is getting hit by the light, and then some interesting stuff happens, and then there is some excrement happening, and that excrement is actually a lower level magical form of but in this case it's a lower level of light or something like that. So UV comes in and infrared comes out. If you think about it this way, it kind of makes sense. The wording is just a different one. Very weird. I know this will shock many readers, but each time we wield this power, creatures called weave devils consume these strands of weave, and their excrement is a powerful force we call magic. I know this will shock many readers, but in this case, the thing that they would call magic is just some energy that is getting emitted again because of the conversion of energy. So, like, no, form is converted, and because it's converted, it leaves behind some other stuff, and that's the energy component. And then you can harness that energy somehow. We just use it mostly in terms of, in terms of like heat or something. Whatever. Ramazith. Hailed by Volo as the sage extraordinaire, and by many grumbling parents of impressionable young women as a bloody nuisance, Ramazith's flame singer was a wizard of great renown. Living in Baldur's Gate, this figure went missing some time ago. It was rumored that he grew romantically involved with a nymph, and idle gossip tells that they ran off together to live in some strange, peaceful place. But gossip is not so reliable, and no one really knows what became of it. So, wait a minute. There's a flame singer, right? So a fire wizard and a nymph. Aren't nymphs usually like a wood or nature creatures? Like there could be a water nymph or a tree nymph or whatever, but usually they are somewhat connected to nature or like botany. So let's just hope that he hasn't burned her down. Elminster by Cherish Holdomen. This text doesn't approach the wizard Elminster with the near fanatical affection many scholars lay at the feet of this legend. It seems to condemn merely mouthed assertions of Elminster's greatness. Take this passage from chapter 6. I spoke to a serving girl at a roadside tavern in the boonies of the Sword Coast. I told her I was researching Elminster. Who was Elminster? Well, he was this astonishing figure in the arcane community. He shed the blood of the world's most cunning villains, like Manchun of the Sundering, shared his bed with the goddess, and inspired hundreds of magic wielders to explore themselves. Their craft widened the scope of their ambitions. She nodded politely. I pressed her. Had she truly not heard of Elminster? Miss, she said, aside from random drinkers in here, I know 8 people. 9 including my dog, Binky. Those were nice little stories you told, but what has this Elminster to do with the price of butter? Huh. Interesting. So in this case, the Elminster itself is only famous or revered in his own little world, where people actually know him, or where people actually have something in common with him. Makes sense. But in this case, it does not lower his status. It just adds an additional view of truth to it. Because no matter how, well, in this case, that might be somewhat of an absolute statement, but let's just say it, no matter how famous you are, there's always something that disconnects you to someone else, therefore lowering your fame connection to them. Or interest, right? People have different interests, and however great you are, if whatever you do is not connected to their interest, then it does not matter what you do. You don't gain any beneficiary stuff from them. So, Songs of the Wind. A copy of Songs of the Wind by the wizard Elminster. I would almost say that he has written the whole bloody library himself. This edition is not annotated at all, and old enough that it might be part of the originally printed set, or perhaps just a compelling reproduction. He recalls the magical school of Wind Song Tower in the elven city of Mystra. One section of Recollections has this for an opening. There's a pergola that lecturers gather under the wintertime ball. Someone gets a block of oak wood from the great board of Windsor, and they all pose as the block fetcher sculpts the image into the wood using a transmutation spell. This little ritual is so bleakly funny, I can barely recall it without feeling like I need to wash my mouth out with lime juice. Anyway, the lecturers talk turkey. The lecturers talk turkey, paying a special attention to the body language of the people around them, because these are not simply colleagues, they are also rivals in the strictest sense of the word. There's no such thing as a lecturer without their foot in the competitive stirrup. They're a jockey lot, and the way they view the world outside their tenure and status is tantamount to the way they view students. Something to be tolerated and molded in the warm clay of their fantastic brains, projected, then sculpted like images in oak wood. I would know. I was the one taking the picture. Interesting. So, and of course we got some milk cans and some other thingies, and of course this potion of invisibility that I'm going to place in here. Okay. Go to camp. Perfect. Now we have pretty much read through all of this, and to be honest, we are going to postpone Lorroakan's projection a little bit, and we're going to go further down here and talk to all of the other fellows. Maybe even find Book of the First that is red. Are there empty condensers, spread the funnels? Are there any books around? There's a hat, there's some scrolls. What is this hat gonna do? Coldbrim Chill. Once per turn, any condition inflicted on a target also applies 2 turns of Encrusted with Frost. Ooh. Interesting.
Ready and willing.
There may even be a hat that has something to do with lightning itself. Maybe we can find that one. Hourglass. Oh, and there's the corpse. Well, we can't really do anything with the corpse yet. Let's see. There's a portal, common table wine. I'm just looking for books, but I haven't read that. The Path to Elminster. There you go. That might be. And of course, there are more rows of books. Oh, come on. Downfall of the Iron Throne. Oh, that might be an interesting one. Let's read that. Okay. A top corner is folded down on one of the final pages, and with the downfall of Saravok, the city mages council was asked to make a memorable example of the Iron Throne, whose criminal headquarters squatted like a dire toad in the center of Baldur's Gate. Looming over the disgusted citizenry its thugs had so recently preyed upon, the council hastily convened, decided upon a dramatic demonstration of the city's rejection of the Iron Throne, and 17 of their number joined their magical powers in a 48-hour ritual that concluded by levitating the Iron Throne building from its foundations, conveying it across the docks and out over the deepest channel of Grey Harbor, where it was plunged beneath the waves and fog to be seen no more. And in this way, the most prominent symbol of the bloody reign of Saravok Anchev was obliterated. Not obliterated, just shoved into the water. And from there, it can actually be housed again. So... there. The path to Elminster. From the hand of Ramazith, in Silverhand are wielded Season's might, flame and torrent, wind and storm evoked. What left for those who witness as it mauls, but the wish to see it beckoned at thine call. Such knowledge cannot help unlocking doors, so you, like wise Elminster, might see your cause. I have no idea what it means, but it's an interesting rhyme. Something. Let's just read this again. Maybe we can decipher it a little bit or interpret it. In Silverhand, I wielded Season's Might. Okay. Silverhand, whatever that might be. Magical Hand, Elven Hand, Moonlight, whatever. Flame and Torrent, Wind and Storm evoked. So in this case, Flame and Torrent, Wind and Storm. Maybe they mean like some water torrent or whatever, but in this case 4 elements. What left for those who witness as it mauls, but the wish to see it beckoning at thine call. Such, in this case you have to cast magic. Such knowledge cannot help unlocking doors, so you, likewise Elminster, might set your course. Okay. This basically means no matter how powerful you are, you don't get to open that bloody door. It stays closed. Let's see. Any other interesting thingies to read? Something. And it's called Scroll of Feather Falling, Earthen Bottle, Garlic, Preserved Mindflayer. Wait, what? No, wait. This is a preserved one. That is not something that you can actually do. It's like held in alcohol. Not useful. Wait. Mindflayer Parasite Specimen. Wait a minute. Where are we right now? Let's just mark this one. Flare. This is not how you write tadpole though. There you go. Okay. We just have to figure out a way to actually get this one. So, what else we got? We got some more condensers, but I'm more interested in the bogs. So, okay. I've actually read, I would say, an awful lot of books right now. We could keep this as its own little episode, and then we can continue talking to the people in the next one. And then, if we have the time for it, we can actually go through those portals. But yeah, next time we are just going to talk to all of those fellows, maybe go a little bit of shopping or whatever. But let's just end this episode, which was more on the, reading side of things. Until then, like and subscribe, of course, and ta-ta!